Before we hear from Susan herself, let's take a look at her excellent work.
I'm Susan Aglukark, Susan Aglukark Inublunga, Agvermingarnikublunga, originally from Agvet, now living here in Ontario. And I am the founder and program developer for the Arctic Rose Foundation, also a singer-songwriter. So when I first moved here to Ontario, I left to leave. I left small town Nunavut. I left my life there, not to pursue this life. All of this that began to happen shortly after moving here happened really, really fast. I went from small town Nunavut to headlining. So 1990s, late 1990s, we're working on the second album, and the first song was The Arctic Rose. And the song was about my first loss of a friend to suicide. The fear I talk about is ilera in Inuktitut, emotional fear. I was essentially in the grips of this, almost always afraid. By expressing, by releasing something, I was starting to feel normal again, whatever normal was. The process of coming to know this was probably the biggest hurdle in my life. And the more I understood it, the more I knew, I want to share this. Is this one of the things that holds us Indigenous children and youth back from truly engaging and pursuing dreams? And if it is, I want to share this.
When I think about Susan, I think about myself as a child listening to her music and being so proud that she's this amazing and inspiring Inuk woman. And then she's created this program. She's founded this organization because there's no other foundation like this. The children and youth that attend these programs, they get to see themselves represented in leadership. And for us that get to work within these programs, we get to see the process of healing collectively, and it feels really good to do that.
I met Susan when I contacted her to be a speaker at a Truth and Reconciliation community discussion we were having. After hearing Susan about the true history of Canada, my eyes were opened, my heart was opened, and I could not look back from that. You can't be ambivalent about what has happened in this country. Youth, Indigenous youth, particularly in the North, are faced with numerous obstacles that we just don't have in the South. It's greater obstacles around food security, around access to mental health care, access to health care, access to education, sometimes not even within their own community. There is a simplicity to the programs that we offer, but that's the beauty of it. It's art.
The Arctic Rose Foundation believes that an emotionally healthier child or youth will also be a healthier inner person. They run the program every day after school, 3:30 to 5. Participants come to this program, the Arctic Rose Room. When you come here and you simply can't participate, that's okay. Here's your messy books kit. If you want to just go and sit down and write in your journal, that's what you do. There's no pressure in this room whatsoever to create art or to participate, because we don't know what's happened when they come to us.
It was very hard for me to express what I had been going through as a young person. And that's something I love about the Arctic Rose Foundation is you don't need to say it out loud, not right away. Once you feel that safe space, then you're more likely to open up and talk about what you need. You're able to talk about what you dream, and that's just what I want for Indigenous children and youth. I want them to dream when they're awake. I want them to dream about their future. They deserve it.
Walking into the Arctic Rose Room, it is full of color and art. It is a safe space for the students to go after school to have a healthy snack, but it is also a place where they can reconnect with their culture. What we find with the Messy Book program and with the Arctic Rose Room is on any given day, even if it's just one student for whatever reason comes into that room, that one child matters. And I think that's a really important part of what we're doing.
When I'm asked why the work is important to do, the word that I come back to, the word that's important to me is kisiani, which simply means because we must. We have a duty to share the things that we have learned, the ways that we are getting better as Indigenous artists, Inuit artists, and that's just the simple answer. We have to do this work. We have to do it. Kihani.
Tunga suttisialaulavut taanna ilitaksiyauguttitaartup pimmarimmik inuusiqatsianarmik kamaqatigiitsianarmilu ilitaksiyauguttitaartu Susan Aglukark. Please welcome the 2022 Humanitarian Award recipient Susan Aglukark.
Koyanamik ang iyong marialogmin, Your Excellency, tagvanigun na kavi unnong, ilitaksigavi uwamnin, pinagayakilawtakani, pinagayakayakani ila, ilingni, ilitisisimagama, malingni lupunga ilingni. Thank you, Your Excellency, for being here with us this evening. What an incredible honor that you are here, and simply a testament to the things that we are learning from your leadership. Koyanamik, thank you. Koyanamik luidlo no nakakaksimayut tunga suktitisimayut uwaptinni nunaminu. Thank you also to the original landowners for welcoming us to your territory. We are very honored to be here with you. Matna. Thank you, Alan Reed, and to Karis and to the Junos, and especially to Music Canada for this honor. I am and will be forever grateful to my fellow artists, musicians, and the entire Canadian music industry. I remember fondly the early years of my career, as much in awe as I was stunned. Happenstance, right place, right time, accidental artist. It was, and I was, truly all of this in those early years. Certainly and always overwhelmed, but also discovering place and belonging. This discovery allowed for reconnecting with self. Without this community and access to it, I would not be here today. That constant state of overwhelm would have overwhelmed, and I would have walked away. From the song Arctic Rose to OCM, collaborating, learning, contributing, all of this made space for empowerment, eyes opening, heart opening, healing, standing tall, owning, belonging. And how do I not share this? The early team of what would become the Arctic Rose Foundation was built with that in mind. It began with the advisory group formed back in 2013, a small volunteer group who had all spent time in northern environments, all of whom I knew personally and with whom I felt that next level of emotional safety. I thank you for that. Some of our early financial supporters are here with me tonight. You believed in my vision and goals. You gave me seed money to start. And your continued belief has empowered me to keep moving forward more than you will ever know. Gary, Linda, Marty, Sue, and your brother Rob, Martha is here with us this evening. Thank you. To the founding board of the Arctic Rose Foundation, most of whom are here today, thank you. Just doesn't seem to cover it for your ongoing support, contribution, and guidance. Thank you to the co-chairs, and a very special thank you to co-chair Jane Hamilton. You came on board without hesitation when I asked you back in 2016, and you have been a powerhouse advocate ever since. Coming up to Rankin Inlet with me in January of 2018, one of two of the coldest months of our Arctic winters, to launch our first program.
Spending time together, walking up and down that hill in minus 40, minus 50 below, without the wind chill factor, helping me clean and set up that first Arctic roast room, embracing both the cold and the challenge. I knew then you were all in. Thank you, Jane. Partnerships are critical to the success of our work in northern environments. The high cost of offering programs are often prohibitive. The cost of food, the cost of transporting supplies, the cost of getting our guest artists to northern communities and reserves. To all of our school partners, our generous supporters, thank you. Community partners and allies, I thank you sincerely, deeply, and gratefully. These include Inuyak School, the Kilinak High School, and the Mani Uluyuk High School, named after my great-great-grandmother in Rankin Inlet. The Arctic Co-ops, our airlines, Calm Air, First Air and Canadian North, Inuit Child First Initiative, Northern Region, Indigenous Services Canada, Canadian Women's Foundation, Make Way, and the Government of Canada, and Women and Gender Equality. And a special shout out to Jordan's Principal and the Arctic Inspiration Prize, who have provided both valuable support and flexibility as we have managed through COVID. It is these partnerships that enable the important work of bringing Indigenous success stories and supports to our children, our northern children and youth. Our youth and children need to see us working with and in our communities and reserves. They need to witness good things, beautiful things, healthy relationships for us, by us. How can we expect or ask our youth to be dreamers and pursue careers of their choice if we aren't showing them, if we aren't creating opportunities for them? Showing them living proof of healed, accomplished Indigenous artists, singer-songwriters, mixed media artists, painters, writers, authors, dancers, actors, poets, we have them. These programs support them all. Yes, to our artists. And in sharing our respective works, our journeys, and in the Indigenous ways that we share, we are also investing and reinforcing other ways of succeeding. And our Indigenous children and youth want to succeed. We have seen firsthand the benefits of these emotionally safe spaces. We know an emotionally healthy child or youth is well on his or her way to succeed. I am very hopeful for our future. There are some incredibly talented Inuit, First Nations, and Métis out there, and many are in this room tonight, and they are our success stories. But it is also a time of some uncertainty around healing and reconciliation. And that is why it is all the more important that we invest in time and spaces to identify and bridge gaps between one side's idea of and thoughts around reconciliation and the thoughts and ideas of the other side, our side. My work as a songwriter is focused on correcting the narrative, finding my own story, and creating safe spaces in which to heal and explore reconciliation. And I like to think the Arctic Rose Foundation, in the work it does and the support it provides, plays its own small but positive role in that process. I saved my final thanks for a couple of people in my life without whom this could not have happened. My husband, always ready to do what needs to be done, whether that is with the Arctic Rose Foundation or with our live music, singing, songwriting, touring, and moving around. My son Cameron, who is here with us this evening, always sharing my energy and my time with everything else that we do. I want also to thank our Executive Director, Ulrika Gumaksiutiksak, who joined our team in February of 2020, just 1 month before COVID hit. Ulrika has been incredible, constantly pivoting with the pandemic changes and challenges. Thank you, Ricky, and to the Arctic Rose team, who are also here with us. 2 of our guest artists are here with us as well, and we have youth who work in our programs in our 3 partner communities in Nunavut here with us tonight. If you have any questions, they're at table 60, 61, and 62, ready to work. We have 2 guest artists here with us as well. Wonderful, wonderful Inuit women, Elizabeth Gordon and Hovak Johnston, also at the tables. Please feel free to stop over and say hi. Mika Kumaksiutiksak, my goddaughter, is our calm worker, mentor, and guest artist. And our 3 calm workers are sitting out there as well, ready to answer your questions. And a very special thank you to Aglukark Eagle for supporting their travel from Nunavut to attend the Junos and to help me celebrate this very special evening. Thank you, Aglukark Eagle. Yes. And a very special thank you to April Akero, our program support. Thank you. Lastly, and most importantly, I would like to thank the children and youth who access our programs today, and those who will in the future. It is your passion, your creativity, and your immense potential that inspires us. Some of these amazing individuals made the long journey to be here today, and I'm so grateful to be in your presence. Koyan nami magayaluk, ilitagayaw gama, koya libong atagbanigun nakapta. Thank you all very much. Thank you.